Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rob Coffin, and today I'm going to be talking about Nintendo controllers through the ages. Well, I guess, through the past 30 years or so. Let's start with the OG, the original NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. This controller is simple, it's sleek, it's perfect. I got nothing bad to say about this. It has 4 buttons on it and a D-pad. That's all you needed back then. I like this controller so much, I even own the Game Boy Advanced SP that they released in the style of this thing. Moving on to the Super Nintendo. This controller added 2 more face buttons and the L and R buttons on top of the controller, which were a welcome addition. Whether you had the controller with the gray and blue buttons, or the one with all different colors, you were definitely getting a quality product. And then, something happened. Yeah, the Nintendo 64 came out with such classics as Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Kirby 64, and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which was a resounding success despite being the only game ever released on the console without having the number 64 in its name. But I'm not here to talk about games, I'm here to talk about controllers, and boy did the Nintendo 64 have a bad one. It was massive, it was difficult and uncomfortable to hold, the joystick was in the dead center of it for some reason, and the joystick was so terrible. In the year 2000, Nintendo was actually sued for causing hands to get cut open and bleed during games of Mario Party. Nintendo ended up having to pay $75,000 to the New York Attorney General's office, and $80 million to the cost of giving out, quote, gaming gloves to the households of people who were unfortunate enough to buy Mario Party for the N64. The gloves had padded palms, so that when they were playing the mini games of Mario Party, they would, move the joystick around and they wouldn't get cut. Oh god, I hate that controller so much. Alright, let's move on to Nintendo's next console, the GameCube. The GameCube was another fantastic console with a lot of great games on it, like Super Mario Sunshine, Eternal Darkness, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and, I'm sure there are some other ones in there too. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on the GameCube controller because I know I'm in the minority in this case. But can we just take a moment and look at this thing? Why would you make it like this? I was somebody who had the luxury of growing up in a household with multiple video game consoles. But I had a GameCube throughout its entire life cycle, and I could never get a hang on the controller. Why are the buttons all different sizes? Why do the triggers click that never did anything? Why are X and Y buttons there? Why is the C-stick yellow? None of it made any sense. Okay, let's move on to the Nintendo Wii. The Wii was one of the most successful video game platforms of all time, and Wii Sports was the perfect pack-in game for it. That being said, I really don't have any strong opinions on the controller. The base Wii model came packaged in with the Wiimote and Nunchuck, and as someone who plays games regularly, I thought they were fine. Not great, not terrible, just fine. But those controllers weren't meant for me. They're for the stay-at-home mom or dad who hasn't picked up a game in over a decade, or the kid who was never interested in video games. The Wii did something that I didn't think was possible. It got people with no interest in video games to actually play video games. And I'm not willing to criticize Nintendo for that. But then, we got the Wii U. The Wii U financially was a failure for Nintendo, despite having some of my favorite games on it, like Bayonetta 2, Super Smash Bros. 4, and Splatoon. But again, I'm not here to talk about the consoles, I'm here to talk about the controllers. And the Wii U didn't have so much of a controller as it did a tablet with some joysticks stuck to the side of it. Which would be fine if it felt good and solidly built, but of course it didn't. So what did they call this thing? Was this the Nintendo tablet or the Wiimote touchscreen edition? No, they simply called it the Wii U gamepad. Now, you see, Nintendo, you can't just do that. That's already the name of something. This is a gamepad. This is a gamepad. Even this is a gamepad. Oh no, I'm sorry. What was I thinking? That's not a gamepad. Although it certainly looks one, I'm sure you can understand my confusion. That, my friends, is the Wii U Pro Controller. Oh yes, of course. You see, Nintendo realized that playing some of the games, like let's say Bayonetta 2 with a tablet was very difficult, to say the least. So they made this to make their games playable, and called it the Pro Controller, sold separately of course. Now, my only question is, why didn't you just call this the Pro Controller and this the Gamepad? It's very stupid, but I digress. Anyway, Nintendo has a new console coming out called the Switch, and I have to say it looks pretty good. Now, as you may be able to tell from this video, I'm a stickler for a good controller, and I hope that the Switch has one. I really do. But I'm not sure. Remember how I said that the Wii U felt like a tablet with 2 joysticks shoved onto the sides of it? Well, that's literally all the Switch is. But this time you don't have to use the tablet if you don't want to. And the controllers, or Joy-Cons as Nintendo has been calling them, do have motion control, but you can just get the new Pro Controller and not use them either. This feels like a weird half-step in every direction. Like if you like the Wii, then we have something for you. Or if you like the Wii U, we have something for you too. Or if you don't like either, then you'll be fine. But the Nintendo I like best, like the Nintendo from my childhood, is the Nintendo that had something to lose. The Nintendo that took risks without apologies and dove in head first without looking. And I don't think that's the Nintendo we're getting anymore. But I hope I'm wrong. Some of the games look pretty risky, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. So thank you very much for watching. As I said, my name is Rob Coffin, and have you checked out this awesome thumbnail I have for this video? If you have and you like it, this is made by my friend Rachel. Go check out her DeviantArt page. The link is in the description below. Thanks again.